Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday, almost
Good
Friday.
morning.
Good morning, Patrick. Welcome, everyone.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Fabio.
As always, guys, while everybody connects, please send us a comment. Let us know if you can hear us. Good morning, everyone. And yeah, as always, just a second, we're going to go through our disclaimer and then we're going to start. Today is a very interesting session. We're going to go and look at the market, see what's happening there. The market just opened. So just 1 minute, guys. Look at the disclaimer. All right. So before we go into the market, yesterday we had some very good sessions. So I want to share with you guys where you can find those. So all the recordings from yesterday, if you haven't been able to participate, can be found on our YouTube channel under live. We had 3 live sessions yesterday. We have futures trading with Patrick. We had NVIDIA earnings here, and then we also have a very good session at 5 on trading challenges. So all of these can be available to you. Just come to our YouTube channel. I'll post this in the comments here. And then please, guys, follow us. All the lives will be there. Yeah, so some very good session there looking at NVIDIA. Let's go now into the market. So the market just opened. So I think what we want to do today, Patrick, is really look at the levels, look at some of the data following the earnings from yesterday. Very important day, very important catalyst. And then just do some example on some maybe like futures and stocks. What do you think?
Yes, 100%. So that's the main reason.
All right. So what we saw yesterday, if you followed our live, we were monitoring the NVIDIA earnings. Obviously, there was a big drop in pre-market. This was the IVO level that was also respected yesterday. So as you can see, the price, even in the pre-market, post-market session, kind of like respected that level and then kind of like bounced back, retouched it and bounced back. And now we are currently at the JAX1, almost 1-day minimum. So the stock has opened minus 2%, 122. What we can also do while we monitor the situation here is go and look at the data from the bot. So here we look at our net gamma exposure chart from end of day yesterday. So as the close of market. So obviously this data was before the earnings were released. So we want to monitor how was the market positioning, and obviously a lot of things will change in the morning today with a new positioning, but we'll monitor that as well. As we can see here, this was our net gamma exposure chart. We see a big gamma at the 130 level. If we look back to the previous day, we also see the same picture. So the 130 is still like a very big node, very big reaction zone. If we go back to the chart, is this level here. We see like a congestion of multiple levels. We see the core resistance, gamma wall, core resistance 0 DTE. So very, very, very relevant levels. But then what changed from yesterday? So one thing we can do is we can open our matrix and we can look at the data here. So obviously there's very important expiration from Friday, tomorrow. It's also Labor Day, so the market is going to offset a lot of positioning. It's a long weekend in the US, so typically we see not a lot of volatility maybe, but we see a lot of maybe change in positioning for Labor Day. Monday, the market will be closed. So here, so 21% of gamma on NVIDIA is expiring tomorrow. We also see a big, kind of like an important change in JAX. So 24 million was removed from the previous day. So this is the change from the previous day. We can also go back in time and look at what the data was like. So the day before, actually, we saw an increase in gamma. So that this was from Tuesday to Wednesday.
But Fabio, I think it's really important for the people. So if you If you're looking into this chat, can you open the matrix again? No, what you was showing now.
Yeah.
So when we see that the GEX is changing, let's also look in which expiration date this will changing very big. So they reduced this from the 920. So it's not like that they reduce it from the 30. On the 30, we see they add something. So if you be now trading the next expiration date, so this is something. This is a good sign. But if you're looking a little bit forward, then you see that the reds are coming into the play. And also, if you're going back to yesterday, Fabio, what we can see is let's say adding again on Friday. Yeah, the Friday for the Friday expiration 830 was also the biggest one with 15.0.2. So what this is meaning, they believe in this because they was adding again today. And this is something what we should also read. We should not only looking to the to the red number, so we should only looking in the details. So what does this meaning? Which expiration date is now in focus?
And we can also, yeah, that's a good point, Patrick. We can also monitor the different expiration here. So, for example, if we want to look at the 20, so this is the 920 expiration. Again, we see a big spike here, 130 level. So that's still a very important level. And then we see here some activity on the 110, 116. And then we can also see how this has changed compared to the previous day. So we can monitor, we can go back in time, look at the different expiration, and yeah, monitor that. Absolutely.
100%.
All right. So if you go back in the chart.
And also, I think it would be really interesting for the people to see how the market sentiment is changed now. So let's take a look into the CTA table. So I know this is a little bit delayed, 24 hours, but because now the NVIDIA earnings will be in the CTAs. So let's see how the index table is looking like now. I think this could be really, really interesting, especially for the NQ, QQQ.
Yeah, so we can see the change here. So, for example, there's been so the CTA positioning today refers to as of the end of day yesterday, and then the position yesterday would be the day before. So we see an addition, especially on the S&P, as well as the Nasdaq and the Russell too. So a small kind of like increase in positioning. Absolutely.
Yeah, so this was meaning, so if we're speaking about in this table yesterday, it's meaning Monday, and the position from today is meaning one day before the NVIDIA earnings. So it's really interesting how they position.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, CTA is very important indicator to follow. It's looking at how quant fund or large institutions are positioning themselves. So we built a model that can help you track that kind of movement. So very, very important. Absolutely. All right. So this is kind of like the NVIDIA side. We can also look at the NQ. So if we look at NQ, here we have not only the gamma level, we also have our blind spots level for today. So the ones that you see here in white. So we see obviously a big congestions this morning around the IVOL level 0 DTE. We saw last night a big push from our core resistance level, and then all the way through all the different gamma levels here, and then kind of like a small congestion in the morning. And now we are kind of pushing higher above the JAX1 towards kind of like the 1-day max, which is also like a blind spot level 6 here.
And again, Fabio, we were speaking about yesterday, I think someone was calling me boom boom Becker, but again, so if we see how nice the 1-day min was holding, it's amazing. So we see the shift from the 1-day min back upwards, and this is a good sign. So this means our levels are really in play. So if we're speaking about 1 day max, 1 day min, so this is the expected move to the upside and expected move to the downside. And again, it's in play. So it was yesterday in play, it was the day before in play, and now again it's again in the play. And we're showing you again live how really important this is to have the levels on your chart.
Yeah, absolutely. If we look at futures, you can also come here and do the same exercise. So we can also look at the net jacks chart on NQ. We can also see here the biggest kind of like spikes. We can also see our core resistance, put support level. We can also go back historically and see how things have changed compared to the previous day. So as you can see, the picture is a bit different. So we see a lot of kind of red bars compared to the previous day. Obviously, NVIDIA plays a big part on it. So again, monitoring this is very important. We can also look at the same multi-expiration on NQ as well. And as you can see, this is today's expiration, so 0 DTE. We have our monthly ones. And then again, you can also look at it different in time. So what was it before yesterday and what was it today? We've seen a very important shift, especially on the 0 DTE side here.
Yeah, and how important the 0 DTE levels are, it's now a good example. If we're now switching to NVIDIA, so we were saying take your first trades with MenthorQ, but if you're looking now to NVIDIA, what we can see, it's so important to have the 0 DTE levels on your chart. So what levels are now in play on NVIDIA? It's the high wall, 0 DTE, and the put support, 0 DTE. So for this reason, it's again a really nice and a powerful example how important it is to have the 0 DTE levels on the chart. So if you're not familiar with 0 DTE, so please go to Google and then look for the influence from 0 DTE options in the market, and this will be mind blowing how big the impact is at the moment.
Yeah.
And it will not stop. So yesterday we were speaking about this. It will not stop. It will have more and more influence. So why not following the steps from the 0 DTEs? And that's again a really nice and powerful example.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so guys, please, if you have any questions, paste them in the comment. Let's look quickly at yes, same principle. We have our gamma levels. We also have our blind spots. And yeah, we have kind of like the same picture, right? Where we have big support last night after the event. And then kind of like we had like a consolidation around the high vol level 0 DTE. And then kind of there was a break this morning. And now we're kind of consolidating in this area here.
Yeah, and we can see again also on the ES, we see the 0 DTE levels. So the 0 DTE levels are in play. Also the blind spots, if you're looking to BL8 on the tick, we are stopping on BL8. So that's really important to have this on the level and have this level on your chart. That's something how you can target, how you can place your stop losses, how you can plan your take profits, and that's so powerful. And we see it every day in the community. If you're looking to the member success stories, we see it every day, again, how important the levels are for the members. So
yeah,
for this reason, take a look into this, and it will help dramatically.
Yeah, and we can do the same for other futures. So if we move, for example, let's change kind of sector, let's change asset. Let's look at, for example, in this case, crude oil. Again, let's look at this morning.
Stop. Wait a little bit. We were speaking about this few minutes ago. How important are the 0 DTE levels? When came the spike? Put support 0 DTE, high wall 0 DTE. Without the 0 DTEs and have only the main gamma levels like X1, high wall, 1-day max, you will not see this. You would be blind. And this is so important for you guys to have the 0 DTE levels. The blind spots, of course, the blind spots are powerful. They're working hand in hand together. But having the 0 DTE levels, amazing.
Yeah.
We see it. We see it also on every assess. We can go to 1,000 tickets and we will see how important the 0 DTE levels are.
Yeah, absolutely. We can do the same on other assets. So let's look at, for example, in this case, gold. We see a big area here, rejection of the JAX2, big momentum at the break of the core resistance. Again, big level here. So we saw a big movement to the downside, right? And now it's kind of like we're retesting the level. Let's see what happens. We also have some blind spots here in play. So BL1.
That's definitely BL1 is one of the most important things. So if you're speaking about the blind spot, what are the blind spots? Let's speak about in 1 minute about this. So the blind spots are looking in the highest correlation assessed. And then we're looking for the most overlappings. And based on the overlappings, we will plot our blind spots. So blind spot 1 means we're having the most overlapping on other assess. So that's very important to know. BL1 is the strongest one compared to BL10. So this means we are now on a really strong correlated level.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Any question, guys? Let us know. So I think what example shall we show? Shall we look at SMCI, Patrick?
Yes, of course, SMCI.
All right. All right.
And again, it feels like we see now we coming into this area where the 1-day max could be a really big important stuff. So think about how important was the 1-day min. If we're looking to the downside, we see there was the shift on the 1-day min. On the 1-day min, we was coming back, and now it was looking like that we target possible the 1-day max. So if you have something on this on your chart, that's so critical and so important to know. And also what Fabio is mapping out for you, the put support and the put support 0 DTE. Think about, we were speaking about the 0 DTEs, how important this is. So now you have some target areas where you can think about, where you can possibly take partial profits. You have re-entry areas. Or if you're looking also to the downside, we're not saying to you you should go long or you should go short. It's your trading style. What we do with MenthorQ, we deliver you the levels. We make it as simple as possible for you to see areas who are really important. So how you can target this. So it's based on your strategy. But now you know exactly 1-day min was the market shift from the SMCI. Now we came to near 1-day max. So connect the dots and then make your decisions based on your trading style.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think DG is also a really good one because we have the earnings, we get the down move. So
yeah. Yes, if we look at DG, so these are the levels calculated from yesterday. Earnings were reported, I believe, this morning, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. So again, the market obviously this is pre-market session, but as you can see, there was a big downside based on the catalyst from the earnings release, but at the same time, a big move down from this level here as well. So the eyeball level. And then let's see what happens today with the repositioning. But again, you can have these at the end of the day on your chart and monitor them as the events happen.
Yeah, and we have a really interesting question, and I think that's a question for you, Fabio. Let's talk about this from AKS.
This one? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think RKS, the important part is that we need to understand that when we look at the labels and we look at support and resistance, we don't need to think about our put support and resistance levels. So if we go back to our NVIDIA chart, in technical analysis terms, so don't look at put support here as technical analysis, right? Look at it in the option, in an optic of an option positioning. So when we look at put support, we mean that basically that's the level with the highest put gamma, which can become a support in terms of reaction zones. At the same time, when we have a core resistance, it's the level with the highest call gamma, and that can become a resistance level. So I think if you're not familiar with this concept, please come to our website. We have like hundreds of guides that can help you here. So here we have under our products, gamma levels, and we have all the core resistance put support. This is explain exactly what the levels are, how they're calculated. And then also if you come into our academy, this is free as well. You can actually click on this course, get started, and we will tell you exactly market reaction zones, the importance of option market, how this data is important, and all the different gamma levels as well. So
yes,
yes. So yeah, so it's so think about it as a reaction zone that can be a big support or resistance area, or could be a big inflection point. And in fact, if we remember the GameStop saga, all the biggest call resistance level were kind of an inflection point to the upside because of the way the market was reacting at that time. So it could be, very big, become a big inflection point, but it can also be a very big support and resistance level. But this is not looking at price action; it's looking at the option market, so option data.
Yes, and also I will add something, and I was saying this before. Forget the names, forget the values. So if you're looking in your option chain, of course, it's really, really important to know. But if this is on your chart, so look to the left side. Look, what is the story behind the levels? So when we're speaking about high wall zero TTE, so what is this meaning? What was this level us saying in the past? So and then now Fabio was mapped this out. So we can see how the levels was working in the past. And this is something what we should always remember. See the story behind the levels. And this is so important. And we get a question.
Yeah, so I think the answer, yes, but always remember they are based on option data, not price action, right? So again, this is a big difference between this level. It's not just support and resistance looking at price action. It's support and resistance looking at option, open interest, gamma, delta, and other metrics that go into the calculation. And they become very relevant because of the way the market structure works. So yes.
Yeah, 100%. And I think, Fabio, it would be really cool if you and me sharing to the people how we prepare ourselves, how you would prepare yourself before you come into the market. So what is your daily routine? How do you use MenthorQ to get prepared? And then after this, I will share also how I will be prepared with MenthorQ, what I'm doing, what I'm looking for, so that you have an idea how simple it is.
Yeah, absolutely. So before we go that, I want, again, Patrick, I want to show this chart again. So, and I want to show the relevance of this chart. So as we can see, and we talked about it yesterday, the option volume has been dramatically increasing over time, especially since COVID, especially during the GameStop saga of 2020, 2021. So the reason why this level becomes very important is because of this option volume. And obviously, we're not going to go into details on how the market structure is because we have resources on our website today. But I think when we prepare for the market is like understanding option volume and the impact on the asset, even if you don't trade option, is very key, because just simply looking at this chart, the trend is here to stay. So the option volume is not going away. And as we can see, it's keep growing and keep growing. And therefore, option volume has an impact on any asset, whether you're trading stocks, futures, commodities, and so on. So, knowing how to read the option market, I think is very important. And then if we go back into how we prepare, so the first step is really, let's go into the membership, into the bot, is really like looking, so let's focus on one specific asset, and maybe let's look at, QQQ in this case. So I basically would start the morning with loading the updated data here. And what I want to see is, first of all, and we're going to go and we're going to show you how to read in the bot. First of all is really a snapshot. So this is really like, okay, when I open in the morning, I want to see, okay, what's happened overnight? How can I read the data and how can I prepare? So the first step is really looking, okay, the typical thing, last price, percentage change. I'm interested in, put call, open interest ratios. I'm interested in what's the forecasted expected move for the day. So if I see a spike there, I can see, okay, wow, there could be a lot of volatility here. Then I look at the implied volatility, historical volatility, and one important piece of information is my gamma condition. This comes from the option market. So I want to understand if it's going to be a volatile day or if it's going to be a non-volatile day, because then based on that, I can imply different strategies. So if I know that, for example, we are in negative gamma, I know that we can expect volatility. And I know this because obviously there was an event, catalyst event for, in this case, the tech sector yesterday. So we are in negative gamma. Doesn't mean the price is going to go down or up. It means that there could be a lot of more volatility compared to other days. Then I want to look at my main levels. I want to see them here. I want to monitor. So if you look at the asset every day, you see how the levels change. You remember the levels. You can also go back in time and see how they change over time. I want to then read, this is just the data. I want to read how this changes over time. Then I want to come here and copy my levels, and I want to paste them in the chart. So I want to open up the chart, and then let's go in 5 minutes. So I plot my levels into the chart. Again, by looking at the past, I can map out my areas. So I can, come here and map out like all the relevant areas that I'm monitoring for the day. Like for example, here we have some important areas that are overlapping with our blind spots. We have our Jacks tree, and then we have our all right. So take off the indicator like Patrick always shows. Now we have a clearer picture of like some areas that could be interesting for the day, right? Put them in the chart. You're active in less than 30 seconds. I don't know if you want to add anything here on.
No, it's perfect. This looks very nice.
Yeah. Then I want to use the option market as my sentiment indicator. And the reason is very simple, because as a retail trader, we don't have access to obviously all the research coming from the big banks or all the data coming from expensive data sources. So what can we use? Can we use some sentiment indicators? So yes, we can do like news, sentiment indicator coming from the news. But I think the option data is a really key sentiment indicator, because it shows you how the whole market is positioning themselves, how they are placing their bets on a stock. So in this case, we're looking at the QQQ, and we see, for example, that we have a lot of red here. So red is net put gamma, right? So if we look at all the option chain, what is the market position? More on the put side at these strikes or more on the call side at these strikes? So here we see a lot of put gamma. These are kind of levels that are in play, very interesting levels. I can also come back to my bot, and I can also look at this chart and go back in time. So I want to see, for example, what's the data from today, but what was it yesterday? So what was the market reacting before the NVIDIA earnings? And what was it doing the day before? So as we can see, same picture, we're still like on a there's like a lot of protection happening there. There's a lot of concern of a potential maybe downturn. Then I want to look at different expirations, so I can actually go back and look at different expiration and see, okay, like, is the market only concerned in the near future? So is it really reacting to NVIDIA earnings and only concerned for this week, or is there more concern over the next expiration? So here I can see, for example, the situation as of Friday. I can also see the December. So this is the highest gamma is expiring on the 20th of December. A lot of put gamma here at the 438, and also we look at the 920. So the 920 is a bit more towards the call side. So I want to see, like, okay, how the market reacts there. Are there any changes compared to the previous day? So I can go back and I can see, oh, let's look at this. This is kind of interesting. So here we see again, so we see that today, December is the highest jacks. Before yesterday was the second highest jack. So we see a lot of increased positioning on the December timeframe here as well. So very interesting to know. And then, I don't know, but let me know if you have any question on anything you want to add.
Yeah, we have a question from Mark Kimball in the comments, so maybe you should answer this.
Yeah, so I think, Mark, we were kind of going through, September, obviously end of the quarter, very important, is also the last 3 months of the year. So when you look at the calendar year, you always have to understand first on how institutionals are playing. So think about hedge funds, how they are rewarded, the bonuses that they receive. So when we get to the end of September, that's like the moment where institutions started to look at the end of the year and reposition themselves to make sure that obviously if they had a good performance until September, that they don't take too much risk towards the end of the year, because that could impact the return for the last 3 months. So September, definitely important month. If we look at the data, we can see it here. So if we look at the expiration here, we can look at it in different ways. So we can see basically here we have the September. So again, on SPX is also the highest jacks expiring, which is 14%. And we see the situation here. We see the different levels right here. And then we can look at, so this would be the monthly expiration, OPEX, so third Friday of the month. This would be the end of the quarter. So another very important, so end of September. We can also do and look at the matrix. So we can go on our matrix and we can look at all the different expirations there. So if we type in here, this is a big table that we can read, and we can look at all the different expiration, but the main one would be the 920. We have 14% of jacks expiring, and 30% of DAX, and 23% of open interest. So a lot of open interest is expiring on September 20. We can also see the change. So we see that some gamma was removed from yesterday. So 67 million of gamma was removed compared to the day before. We can also look at the September 30, so 10% of jacks here, and you can look at the data, and then you can also look at the different levels. Another interesting measure is the expiry expected move, which tells you, based on forward-looking volatility from the option data, how much can we expect the price of the asset to move by that expiration. So if we look at the 920, there is an expected move of 189 points, plus or minus. So
yeah, that's a good point.
So how do you prepare, Patrick?
Yeah, so let's share my screen and then let's go. Okay, can everyone see my screen? Let me know. All right. So what I'm technically doing is, so for me, the most important thing is first open the CTA table. Uh, Open the table to get an idea what's going on in the market. So here I have a really good overview about everything, about the S&P, about the Nasdaq, the 10-year, 2-year bond, dollar index, everything. So I know everything. And of course, if you see like today and yesterday, this not meaning like really today. The today means yesterday, and the yesterday means 2 days back. So, but why I'm looking into this, because for me, it's really important to get an idea about the whole market sentiment. How is the market sentiment? How are the big institutional players position herself? This is for me one of the major things where I'm looking into. For me, always important to see the change, especially to see, okay, what was 1 month ago and how it looks like now. Why is this for me important? To get a bigger overview how the institutionals are playing. This is my number one, what I'm doing. And then the next thing, what is really important for me is going into the matrix and then looking for the wicks. Everyone knows that the wicks is really important. For me, it's really too important to see how the wicks are looking like. So now we are positive on the wicks, so we can see an expected move from 10. So all right, everything is good. And then what I'm also doing is I'm compare the day before. So how it was looking like the day before. So we get a move from 1 point, and now we have, because of NVIDIA, of course, we're getting more and more expecting moves. So this is something where I'm looking for. And then the next thing is definitely what is for me really important is also looking into the swing trading model. Let's open the swing trading model also for the QQQ, because this is something what is my main baby. So my main baby is always the NQ. But for me, I'm looking most of the time on the QQQ. Why? Because it's the small number. Remember, I'm a lazy guy. I can always remember on smaller numbers. So this is much easier for me. And then I'm looking into the QQQ. How is this change over the few days? So we see the change here in the lower band and in the risk trigger. I compare and look into this, how the market conditions are changed. So this is for me the most important thing, what I'm looking for. Looking in how the big players are positioned. So we were speaking about the CTAs. So this is for me the main important thing, to see how the big players position. Second, what I'm doing is looking into the VIX, how the VIX is going, what is their expected move to the next expiration date, how is this changed compared to yesterday, how they placing has GACs and DAX, so where are the big changes, and then also looking into the swing trading models for the QQQ to get a better overview about the market sentiment. And that's my 3 steps, what I'm doing. And the rest of all is, hey, if I'm looking now for the NQ, of course, I put my levels on the NQ, and that's it. Also the blind spots. And if I'm have interesting in NVIDIA, of course, I'm looking also in the options matrix from NVIDIA, and yeah. But the main thing, what I'm doing, and this is my morning routine, as I said, first CTA, second option matrix from the VIX, and the last part, the 5-day swing model from the QQQ. And I think that's it on my end.
Thank you, Patrick. All right. So yeah, keep it simple. Yeah, keep it consistent, and then let's see if we have other questions, guys. So first of all, you can find all the information about everything we show you today on our website. We have a resources section with all our guides and all our documentation. So yeah, please take a look at that if you have any questions, and then you can also reach out to us directly via email if you have any, any questions, any feedback. We can reply to you directly via email.
Yeah. And again, I would say before we coming to the end, maybe we can open. So we are come back at 5 p.m. Today also Eastern time, and then we have to recap. But now we was getting the hourly close, and I will say let's go again in NVIDIA and let's check how the levels are playing. I think that's something that's really cool, so that we can see how the 0DTE levels are playing. And as I was saying in the beginning, so look at this. We have high vol 0DT and put support 0DT. So if you have this not on your chart and you have only GEX 2 or GEX 1, so then you would be a little bit blind. So this is the best example for today, is how important this is to have the 0DTE levels on your chart. But how NVIDIA was playing out over the day, how the levels was playing out over the day. We have the market recap, trading roadmap recap. So, and we will go into this 5 p.m., but this was one of a good example why you should have this on your chart.
Yeah, and all the events are here as we see. So if you go under our live section, this is the trading roadmap recap for today, 5 p.m. You can also watch all the recordings here from yesterday and the day before. A lot of good content there. So yeah, absolutely. And then yeah, see how this. Yeah, this is a very good live example.
And then I think, let's see how smart our community is. Do you think we can ask one question and let's see if one have the answer for us? What do you think, Fabio? Can we ask one question to the community?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay. So everyone who answers right get now live a really big shutout. So which non-tech company is now worth 1 trillion? Again, which non-tech company is now worth 1 trillion? Let me know if you know the answer. If you know the answer, you get the big shout out live. Fabio is showing this for you, my friends. By the way.
All right. So this is the question. I think we have MenthorQ. This is the thank you, Nomad. Not yet.
Not yet, but in the future. Come on, champs. It's not that big. Look into the top NASDAQ companies, which non-tech, or look to the S&P, which non-tech company is now worth 1 trillion? Who is the best investor? Boom, Luca! My man, you know it.
RK was first.
Which one?
RK was first, and then we have Luca. Yes.
Nomad, yeah, Nomad. Buffett. Woo! Is this amazing or what? I will never think about this, but now it's crazy. How he's starting with his company and now trillion. Non-tech. Amazing.
Yeah. All right. That was a good one. And thank you, Nomad, for giving us confidence.
Okay. Yeah, DFD also perfect. Yeah, so I like it.
All right, guys. So I think, Patrick, this was a good session, very quick, but we can quickly show you how the levels are played out in real time, live, and how you can use those tools. So if you guys want to join us, for all our live participants, we are giving you a live 25 code that you can apply if you want to join our membership, if you want to join our Discord community. So please, yeah, we want to really thank you for your time today. And thank you for staying with us. And again, today we're going to be live again. So we are going to be live at 5 p.m. for our trading roadmap recap. Same here, Twitter and YouTube. So please come with us, join us. Look forward to see you at 5. And then also we have some really exciting event tomorrow. We're going to talk about swing trading, and we're going to do a bar-to-bar analysis at the end of the day. And then next week, we're also going to have some really interesting sessions. We're going to have a session with Ryan on September 4th. It's actually the same session where we're going to show you how to price options and how to look at the Black and Scholes models to assess the risk of your option portfolio. So yeah, that's a very more advanced session, but very, very interesting. So please come with us.
Yeah, and for all the 2 people who are waiting for the bar-to-bar analysis, man, big shout out to you, my friends. I hope you're staying there and waiting. We'll see us on Friday, my friend.
Yeah.
All right, my friends. So thank
you
you
all.
again. See you later. And if you have any questions, if you want that we're going through any chart with you, let us know. If you be in the community, give us a note. We will speak about. If you be on Twitter, give us a comment under the live tweet, and we will going through this. If you be on YouTube, don't forget to give us a like, subscribe, and follow us. So this is really important. This is your thank you for us. And I hope you take out some golden nuggets, and that's the main thing. So always become one day better.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Really appreciate the time. Thank you, Patrick, as always, and see you later.
Bye.